In the middle of the night, a wounded Mech runs through the city while trying to escape from the police. He collapses in an alley and laughs as he thinks he won't make it. Suddenly his spilled blood floats up and a mysterious hooded figure tells him that he'll keep him alive if Mech gives him his allegiance. Mech has no choice but to accept, so the stranger uses his power to lift him and seal the pact, which causes Mech's body to glow and yell in pain. When the cops finally make it to the alley, they find a torrent of blood on the wall. Soon chaos takes over the streets with people dying everywhere at the hands of monsters while the hooded stranger watches calmly and Jake screams. As huge flames burn everything down, it's revealed this is actually a vision of a monk named Chan. He immediately gathers his things and tells his master that his father, known as the Necromancer Witchian, has returned to Earth, so he must leave to stop him. Meanwhile, Jake and his family arrive in Bangkok. They're supposed to be having a vacation, but Jake won't stop taking calls from work. His wife Prang scolds him and reminds him to prioritize his family, so Jake promises to do better while remembering his days as a street cop. When they turn around, they realize their daughter is gone. The couple desperately start searching every corner of the city, and after running for a while they find Lu chatting with Chan on a bridge. They scold Lu for running on her own and thank Chan for taking care of her, only for Chan to surprise them by already knowing Jake's name and face. Chan says their meeting was destined and that Jake is the one born in death under a blood moon, calling him the Keeper of the Gates. He warns Jake that he'll face great challenges and lose everything, but Jake thinks Chan is just a crazy man and leaves with his family. Later at the mall, Lu gets ice cream on her t-shirt, so Prang takes her to the bathroom to wash up. At that moment Mech enters the mall and bumps into a man, only to hand him his lollipop before taking out a gun to kill him. People panic and try running away while Mech continues to shoot at random, killing both shoppers and employees. There's a big crowd rushing to the exit, but Jake pushes through it to reach his family and tells them to hide in the bathroom while he tries to help. While Officer Arat arrives and starts making his way through the mall, Jake carefully sneaks around while telling people to stay hidden. When Mech gets distracted by a blood-stained doll, Jake comes out with his gun and asks Mech to drop his weapon. Mech looks unbothered while he uses his doll to talk to Jake in a childish voice, mocking him for being American and mentioning Lu and the ice cream. Jake threatens to kill Mech if he doesn't surrender, and Mech opens fire, forcing Jake to hide again. Hidden nearby, a crying girl is trying to use her phone, but Mech shoots her down. Outside, a whole team of cops and firemen surround the mall. Jake calls Mech insane to make him talk to the doll again, and once he's distracted, Jake comes out to shoot. Mech falls to his knees while Arat appears behind him, but is still unbothered. He thanks Jake for killing him, saying now the ritual is complete and calling him the Keeper. Suddenly Mech's body starts burning and it explodes, causing the whole building to shake. The smoke above the mall forms a roaring skull and flames are shot in every direction of the city. Prang drags Lu out of the bathroom and they rush outside, only to find a bus crashing and people attacking each other all over the place. Even the fireman is stabbing a person. The duo has no choice but to run back into the mall. While they carefully sneak around, they see a man continuously smashing a guy's head on a counter and a body at the front desk. A crazy man appears around the corner and tries to attack them, so Prang kicks a mannequin at him and hits him in the head with a plastic arm. Then Prang and Lu take the escalator, only to see more deranged men coming after them. Prang puts Lu on the outer edge of the escalator and makes her slide down while she takes the steps normally, using the mannequin arm to fight the incoming men. Lu makes it to the next floor and a guy grabs her, so a desperate Prang hurries to bring down an enemy and hits the other attacker to save her daughter. They run away and manage to find a back door just in time to see a bus stop. The driver comes out and is attacked by another person, triggering a fight. Prang tries to escape with Lu, but she finds violence, weapons, fires, and car crashes at every corner. After lots of running, they manage to hide inside a grocery store. Prang's cell phone isn't working, so she carefully sneaks around and ignores the body at the counter to use the store's phone, but it isn't working either. At that moment a monstrous man enters the shop and throws a few products before checking on the body. Then he starts searching the place, so Lu has to keep moving to stay hidden. Unfortunately, she gasps when a body hits the window outside and the stranger finds her. When he's about to attack, Prang hits him from behind to knock him down. Meanwhile, Jake and Arat wake up without understanding how they survived since they were so close to the blast. They also notice there are no bodies around. Jake sees a person standing nearby, but it disappears when he blinks. Arat finds some bloodstains and notices they're very old. When they hear some noises, they go investigate and find a woman with a knife in her hand. She turns around to reveal a monstrous face and jumps on Arat to stab him to death. Jake opens fire, but the bullets don't do anything and the woman attacks him next, so a fight ensues. After some struggle, Jake manages to knock her out by hitting her head. Afterward, Jake runs and hides, but the woman quickly recovers and comes looking for him. Suddenly her limbs grow and she jumps to crawl on the ceiling. Jake continues to sneak around and hides, but eventually the woman finds him and drags him out. He tries shooting at her, only for this creature to disarm him and try to stab him. A desperate Jake manages to fight back and push her off to then run again. He rushes to the bathroom, but he can't find his family. As he searches the rest of the mall, Jake notices that all the food is rotten. Soon the woman attacks him again, so he hits her with a chair and tries to run away. She immediately blocks his way with another attack, so Jake grabs some cables hanging nearby and wraps them around her to tie her to some decorations. He hits her a few times to no avail, so he decides to just leave her there. Back to Prang and Lu, they leave the store and get to the bus station, where people continue to attack each other. The duo try sneaking around and a man blocks their path, so they crawl under a bus to avoid him. Lu notices a vehicle with normal people gesturing at them, so they wait for an opening and rush to get in. The driver tells them the bus works, but his keys were dropped outside and nobody dares to retrieve them. Prang runs out and quickly grabs the keys, but when she's about to get back on the bus, two crazy men drag her back. Lu cries as she fails to hold her mother's hand, but thankfully a passenger finally comes out and fights the men to rescue Prang. She rushes back to her daughter and gives the keys to the driver so the bus can finally take off while they watch the passenger getting killed by the violent men. Unfortunately, the bus can't go very far because the road is blocked by abandoned cars, so Prang and Lu have to continue on foot. Moments later they make it to their hotel and find bodies there too. When they go upstairs they see a man fighting with a woman and then coming for them. Prang uses a baggage trolley as a shield and pushes the attackers back, knocking them down. Another man appears at the end of the corridor and Prang hits him with a bottle before she and Lu finally find safety in their room. When they look out the window, they see the whole city on fire. Prang tries the room's phone, but it doesn't work either. In the mall, Jake is walking around and notices all the screens failing. To his shock, he discovers that the woman has escaped the bindings and is still looking for him. She approaches a torrent of blood on the wall and crosses it, so Jake decides to follow her. This strange portal drops him right at the bus station, which appears to be empty. When he looks up, he's shocked to find a giant demon on top of the building. The creature is coming after him and destroys every bus it steps on. Jake runs as fast as he can through the city and the demon starts destroying buildings to chase him. When Jake enters an alley he gets stuck, but he can't go back because buildings are crumbling behind him. Suddenly a door opens and Chan pulls Jake into his temple. Chan explains they're in an alternate reality called the Hindrance, which is a realm between heaven and hell. It's a place for souls that lost their way and Jake is there to be held accountable for his actions. By helping Mech finish the ritual, Jake has opened the gates of hell and unleashed demons on Earth. The person who manipulated Mech was Chan's father Wiccian, a very powerful necromancer who is also seeking to return. Since Jake opened the gate he also has the power to close it, which makes him the keeper. This is his destiny because he was born under a blood moon and his mother died in the process. Jake doesn't understand anything and only cares about his family, so Chan points out that by closing the gate he'll be saving his family with the rest of the world. They need to hurry because the demon gets stronger with every soul it consumes. The first step is to find Mech, so while the duo begins their search, Chan shares more of the story. Wiccian used to be a very greedy monk who stole his master's scriptures, which corrupted his soul and destroyed his physical human body. A desperate Wiccian tried to get a body by possessing his own son, however his wife interrupted the ritual by knocking him down and Wiccian's soul was exiled from this reality. The failed possession left Chan with lots of knowledge about soul energy absorption and how to travel between realities. The story is interrupted when Jake sees a woman on the roof being cornered by a demon. Chan says they don't have time but Jake rushes to help her anyway. When Chan tries to follow him, he's blocked by a demon too. Jake grabs a crowbar before making it to the roof, where he finds several demons. With quick movements, he hits them one by one to knock them down. Then Jake checks on the woman, recognizing her as one of the mall victims. She cries as she remembers what happened and regrets not having talked to her ex-boyfriend, admitting she cheated on him with his best friend. This explains why her soul is in limbo. At that moment the huge demon appears nearby and begins destroying the building, so Jake drags the girl with him as he runs. Unfortunately the demon grabs her anyway and devours her. After the demon leaves, Jake reunites with Chan and points out that the girl didn't know she died. He remembers the mall explosion was huge and concludes he's dead as well, which Chan confirms. Jake has a breakdown as he thinks about his family and Chan explains to him that he's become a lost soul because he chose his job over his family. However, it's not over. Jake may return to Earth if he uses a vessel. While Jake and Chan continue to cross the city, they see a winged demon following them. They rush into a building and find more of these demons, with their pursuer landing right behind them. When the demons attack, Chan fights them off using his staff and impressive martial arts skills, scaring them enough to stop them from following him. Jake and Chan rush upstairs and enter a theater that is also full of demons, so they run as fast as possible to reach a specific spot in front of the screen where Chan can open a portal. In just a second the duo makes it to the physical world, where the demons can't follow them without a vessel. Jake looks at the mirror and discovers he's possessing Arad's dead body, which is painful. Chan gives him an ancient gun that summons special bullets and a special knife. These two are the only weapons that can kill Mech. Meanwhile Mech has possessed Jake's body and is using it to get into the hotel room with Prang. The family is worried about him but Mech doesn't know how to communicate with them and keeps staring at his real form in the mirror. Lu keeps asking lots of questions, so Mech brings out the burned doll from the mall. Suddenly the room's phone starts ringing and Mech happily takes the call while taking notes. By the time Chan and Jake enter the room, Mech and the family are gone and only the doll is left. Chan finds Mek's note next to the phone while Jake hears Lou yelling for help. He looks out the window and sees her by the pool, so he immediately rushes out of the hotel. Prang and Lou are scared of him because they see him as Arat, and the distraction allows Mek to hit Jake from behind to bring him down. Then Mek holds Jake down while telling him how he'll steal his life and his family. He also calls him a bad father and husband for choosing his job over his loved ones. Jake insults Mek to make him react, and as soon as Mek moves, Jake rolls out of the way. A fight ensues with both men punching and kicking each other over and over again. When Jake tries to use the special gun, Mek quickly disarms him and they both fall in the pool. The fight continues in the water and Jake takes out the special knife, but when he's about to stab Mek, Prang points the magical gun at them, asking them to stop. Both men claim to be the real Jake and Prang doesn't know what to do. Lou asks about the gesture she always shares with her dad to make promises, which Jake makes using Arat's body. Prang fires the gun and unfortunately hits Jake, sending him back to the hindrance where his soul is bitten by a demon. In the real world, Mek continues to use Jake's body and takes the gun from Prang while Lou insists this isn't her real dad. Suddenly a blood portal appears on the wall and Mek tells them to follow him. In the hindrance, Jake's soul is rescued by Chan, who still has the note Mek left in the hotel room. It turns out Mek has been in contact with Wiccan, who gave him instructions on how to find the Gate of Hell ritual site. The duo follows these instructions to find an abandoned house in the forest where a big fire burns to mark the Gate of Hell. In the real world, Mek brings Prang and Lou to the same location, where he finds a bunch of possessed cultists and the masked stranger who happens to be Wiccan. Since the big demon is still around, Jake and Chan carefully sneak around until they find the right spot and Chan opens a new portal. Wiccan makes Lou's body float above the gate and gets ready to kill her to finish the ritual that will make him a god, but he's interrupted by Jake. A fight ensues as the cultists attack Jake, who uses impressive fighting skills and the special knife to fight them one by one and kill them all. Mek also joins the fight and tries to shoot Jake with the special gun, but after exchanging a few hits he gets disarmed. While the men continue to fight, Prang manages to get free from the thug holding her and knocks him down before retrieving the gun. She shoots Wiccan's hand to stop him from stabbing Lou, only for the cultist to suddenly tackle her and make her fall. Prang gets a fallen knife from the ground to bring him down and Jake throws his own blade at a second man who is about to grab her. Mek also has a knife and keeps slashing Jake until Prang tosses the gun at her husband, giving Jake the chance to finally shoot Mek. His soul is immediately sent to the hindrance where the huge demon immediately eats him. Afterward, Chan appears before Wiccan and keeps him distracted so Jake can stab him from behind. Before dying, Wiccan reveals that the only way to close the gate is for Jake to cross it. Chan explains he had hoped to find an alternate way, but there isn't one. Accepting his fate, Jake goes to say goodbye to his family and apologizes for not being there for them before. He shares one last hug with them before walking to the fiery gate, which instantly transports him to hell. Jake's body burns when he reaches the gate on the other side, effectively closing it. The physical world goes back to normal and Prang takes Lou to stay at her grandmother's house. Sometime later, a mysterious woman uses her power on the gate. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.